Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow, and today we're going to be talking about Cardano spot ETFs, what that means for the potential future of Cardano, both in price and governance. And I'm going to teach you how to become a DREP because I think it's extremely important. And yes, I'm a DREP. I'm one of the top 10 DREPs in the world, apparently. And it's a great thing, but ultimately we need more, and I'm going to explain why. So what we're going to look at first is this. This is Bitcoin's ETF overview. This is a total market cap right now with these Bitcoin spot ETFs of almost $117 billion. Okay. Total volume right now is about 490 million. With a total AUM, assets under management, $117.5 billion. You can see the number of spot ETFs. The number's been growing. There's just a lot of things happening here. And while this is all wonderful, and obviously a growing thing, we're about to get some Cardano spot ETFs as well. And this is a really big deal for us Cardano holders and those of us who've been a part of this ecosystem for, it's going to be a decade soon, but since 2017. Grayscale ETF Application helps Cardano's ADA outshine Bitcoin and Ether. The CME has not yet listed ADA futures, which is widely considered a prerequisite for gaining approval for a spot ETF. Okay, this is all very, very likely coming, right? Grayscale files for a post-Cardano's ADA listing in the US. ADA jumps over 11% on ETF hopes, outshining the rage-bound Bitcoin. Bitcoin will have the last laugh, some analysts said. Whatever. That's not even the point. The point of this is that these spot ETFs are going to be a real thing. And when the first one kicks off, there are likely going to be many that follow. Here's one thing about Cardano and all crypto that is just, it's the way it is. Number one, using crypto is still not easy for most people, for the general public. But if you ask the majority of people out there, what do you know about crypto? The first thing out of their mouth is generally going to be, well, I know what Bitcoin is, right? They don't really know what Bitcoin is. They just know that Bitcoin exists. It's a thing. They've heard stories. They know people, yada, yada, right? Now, if you go deeper, there's less people that know about Cardano than Bitcoin, but Cardano is slowly becoming a name of recognition. It's a recognized layer one blockchain that's kind of like Bitcoin, right? People still don't fully understand what Cardano is, but they know it exists, and more people are learning that it exists. Now, the reason why this is a big deal is because right now, if I tell somebody, oh, you should check out Cardano, right? I have so many friends in Cardano right now. And I had many friends that I got into Cardano last cycle. Several of them have continued holding through and delegating their ADA. They've been delegating to my Crow node and just generating a passive yield this entire time. So they've been accumulating more for free, just holding what they had from the last market. The reality is that a lot of these people had to go to an exchange like Kraken or Coinbase or something, right? Crypto.com to basically set up their credit card and start accumulating their Cardano. The difference between these people and the rest of the world is that the people that are in Cardano right now have learned how to navigate things a bit. They've learned how to navigate, set up an exchange account or set up a wallet or do a lot of the things necessary to either self-custody or set up an account in an exchange that are custodying their crypto for them. All right. Different levels of engagement, different levels of understanding. The majority of people just set up like an exchange account. They buy Cardano. It's still sitting there, right? They haven't learned enough about set up a Yoroi wallet or a Lace wallet or a dataless wallet. The differences between dataless and Lace. Lace is a light wallet in your browser, right? You're not downloading the entire blockchain to a computer, whereas dataless is practically like a node. You're downloading the entire blockchain to your computer. It takes forever to sync up, but once it does, you're literally running the entire Cardano blockchain on a laptop or a desktop. And so it takes a lot longer. A lot of people still don't seem to realize the differences between dataless wallet and like a browser wallet. But most people are learning how to set up these browser wallets like Lace or Eternal, and that sort of thing. So the point I'm trying to make is that there are so many variables to the level of education the general public has to Cardano. When these spot ETFs launch, that changes the game, because everybody that knows about Cardano or they want to buy Cardano, but they're intimidated because they think it's more difficult than it is, are now going to be able to buy it with a phone call to their broker. We've got about $500 million in daily volume right now in Bitcoin spot ETFs. What happens when Cardano launches its spot ETFs? Well, doesn't when spot ETFs for Cardano are launched, whether it might be Grayscale or others, then the accumulation is going to continue. Now, I wanted to do it in this video, but I don't think I'm going to have enough time. But at some point, I'm going to show the supply of Cardano and where it's going, because Bitcoin, Cardano, and likely some others are going to start experiencing some supply shock, because $500 million a day in volume for a Cardano ETF is going to be significant. I'm not saying that's what we're going to get, especially early on. It's going to be much smaller than that, but it's going to pick up. And so what this means is that any Tom, Dick, Harry, Bob, and Carla and Karen, they're going to be able to buy Cardano just calling their broker. They're going to say, hey, I want to put some of my 401k. I want to sell some of this. It's not doing so well. I want to put it into blockchain. I want to get some Bitcoin. I want to get some Cardano, whatever other ETFs are out there, right? But what does this do for Grayscale? What is this? Let's just say that there ends up being 5 different institutions that set up spot ETFs. Okay, that's great for the price action. It's going to push the price up higher. As the price gets pushed higher, more people are going to want to buy in and they're going to want to accumulate, right? And it's going to start that whole cycle of, people ignore it when it's 75 cents, but then everybody wants to buy it at $3, $5, $8, right? That's what it's the same thing that happens every cycle. But what happens is that as people are accumulating through these ETFs, well, the people that control these ETFs are going to be obtaining and getting more voting power. How is that a thing? Well, because if any of them, and I'm assuming they're going to, if any of them set themselves up to be DREPs, they are going to be able to vote all of the ADA that they're holding in these spot ETFs, and they're going to be able to delegate it all to themselves to increase their own voting power as an institution. This could get very, very big. Right now, if we look at some of these companies or some of these DREPs, I mean, like I have over 100, I'm getting close to 110 million ADA worth of voting power, and I'm just one guy, and I'm in the top 10. There's one with 300 million. Now, what happens when these ETFs are bringing in, 50 million a day in volume or more, and it's all going towards their DREP power? They're going to basically get a large amount of voting power, okay? We don't want that. And this has been a point I've been making for a long time. We don't want a centralized hub of 3, 5, or even 10 companies controlling the vote for a decentralized blockchain like Cardano, because they are going to act in their own best interest. Now, some could argue and say, well, I think that their best interest is likely going to be my best interest, right? Not so much. Because we don't know what sorts of deals or other relationships they have in the blockchain space or the institutional world or the political world or whatever. We don't want anything happening on Cardano being dictated by a small number of people, which is one of the reasons why I've also suggested kind of an issue with how much voting power I have or any of us in the top 10, because we're all just individuals for the most part, except for maybe the eternal community or committee. And so basically, I want this video to really strike you. If you are a Cardano holder and you've been a part of this ecosystem for years, there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't become a DREP yourself and play a consistent role in maintaining the governance and the well-being of the Cardano ecosystem overall. Now, I am also working on a couple proposals of my own right now that I'm gonna post. Okay, so now we're gonna go over how to become a Cardano DREP. This is a really big deal, and I need you guys to really follow this and learn and share this video, like it, subscribe, do all that stuff. Leave your comments below, because this really is a big deal. And I've been getting a lot of people asking me based off of my recent videos, like, how do I become a DREP? I believe you. I think it's a good idea. We need more DREPs. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through this. This is, we're going to make this a little bit bigger. Bing, bing, bing. You can just do a Google search, how to become a DREP, and it'll explain it. But I'm going to leave all these links in the description of this video. This is on Cardano Spot. Registering to become a DREP will soon be able to be done through GovTools. It's already done. This is all done. This is an older article, but it's a very simple 5-step process. And if you go to GovTools, gov.tools, this is the Cardano governance tool. Okay, you can connect your wallet. You're going to want to connect your either your Yoroi wallet, your Eternal wallet, whatever your browser-based wallet, your Lace wallet, and you can do one of two things. Well, one of a couple things here. You can delegate your voting power to another DREP. So this is what people have been doing to delegate their voting power to me and others. Or you could become a DREP. Accept delegated voting power from other ADA holders and combine it with your own voting power. Vote with the accumulated power on governance actions, and then you connect to register, and then you can become a direct voter and then view governance actions, propose a governance action. So these are all, this is the government right here. This is basically the government by which Cardano now operates as a decentralized body. Now, to become a DREP, you just click to connect, and then when you click that, it'll open up Yoroi. When this opens up, it's going to give you the means of downloading the Yoroi wallet to your browser. Okay. Now, I'm assuming that if you don't have Yoroi, but maybe you've connected with a different wallet, that's what it'll trigger. But I haven't confirmed this. But when you accept that, this will basically put the Yoroi wallet on your browser. Should. Yeah. So discover a new word. This is basically you setting up your Yoroi wallet. I'm not going to go through all that. But once you've done that and you've got your wallet set up, you're going to look for the voting tab. Okay. Look for the voting tab in the menu bar and select blockchain governance underneath it. Under the new vote delegation, select own account to register yourself as a DREP. Note that you'll need a refundable deposit of 500 ADA to register as a DREP. This is refundable, but it basically shows that, this wallet is serious. You've got a little bit of money in there, and this is the one you're going to be using to be a DREP. You will then be prompted to provide an optional URL that will be stored on-chain, linking your DREP ID to an off-chain and editable repository of information about yourself. This could be your X account, this could be your website, this could be whatever. But this is likely going to be the website where you're going to be campaigning for president, so to speak, right? You're going to be putting what are your ideas? What do you think about? Who are you as an individual? And then you're going to sign that transaction confirming the 500 ADA deposit and wait for it to process on chain. You are now a DREP and will be able to vote on governance actions. Now, That's it. It's very, very simple. And then what happens is once you've completed that, then you're going to be able to direct people to the to your ID on the DREP directory, and people will be able to vote for you. Okay, so you'll find yourself, you'll get a link. If I can sort this by random registration date. So if I'm looking for it immediately, if I just registered, I'll probably want to be one of the top numbers here. And then, if I want to go for based on voting power, that's what I do if I'm trying to find myself. Then I can just basically go here. These numbers are just growing. So, and I can say, oh, hey, there's Crypto Crow. This is a clickable link. This is CIP 105. I can connect to delegate if I want. I can click this to view details. And then it gives me all the details that I input when I created the account. Okay. And that's it. Metadata URL, metadata hash, all of the stuff. I've even linked my YouTube in here. Crow's first Cardano video in 2017. Oh my goodness. I wonder if that opens up. Yes. Oh my gosh. Look at that ugly ogre right there. That is crazy. That is so funny. That was 7 years ago, folks. My very first Cardano video. Why I bought 15,000 cryptocurrency Cardano ADA. Is that not crazy? 110,000 views on that video. So it's, I found like this article. The complete dog shit article. I don't know why people do this. I don't know if people are paid by some of the shadier coins to put out. It's funny. I was already catching on to how things work in 2017. But anyway, yeah, this is where I basically explained why I was going to marry Cardano, and that was going to be the focal point of my channel and everything that I did. And here we are all these years later. I can't believe this has been 7 freaking years, folks. This is nostalgic and scary at the same time because so much time has passed. I haven't always been gray. But anyway, yeah, that's the difference. Wow, I look like a grandpa now compared to how I looked just 7 years ago. Holy shit, this is freaking me out. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, that's it. It really is not that difficult. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll try to help as I need to, or I can help guide you to other links. But listen, now's the time. We've got to get you guys, all you guys, gals, whoever you are. It doesn't matter. We need you involved. We need a variety of voices. We can't just all be agreeing on the same things. We need to truly decentralize the decentralization of Cardano in terms of governance and voting and what decisions are being made. Even if it's a matter of just having competition and having a variety of voices and opinions and perceptions so that we engage in further discussion. Right now, this is like day one stuff. So there are so many big changes coming. There's so many big improvements coming. And we've got to get our feet to the grindstone, our feet to the pavement and start running, because these institutions are going to come in and they're going to start accumulating power. And do we really want these institutions dictating what happens to the Cardano blockchain? If that were the case and we allow that, then we could have just been like Solana from day one, where we just, Charles and everybody else, they could have profited from basically just selling out to the venture capital groups and the institutions before they ever even launched, and then help basically let them dictate everything from day one. And that's the whole point of Cardano, is by empowering the public to make decisions for what happens on this chain as it starts to prepare. Like right now, we're sitting on there's no more scaffolding, folks. We're sitting on a launch pad today, and we are now sitting on this launch pad, and we've got everybody in the house basically working on making sure all the levels are clear, everything's good for launch, and we're getting ready and we're getting close. And when we launch, if we launch without a truly decentralized body that is catering to the will of the people for the betterment of the blockchain overall, we could start seeing some serious issues with these institutions making decisions for us that we don't like. And if we allow that to happen, we have nobody to blame but ourselves. And quite frankly, if you're in the Cardano ecosystem, if you've been in the Cardano ecosystem since 2017 or even the last couple years, and you're in it because you are aware of the power that Cardano is going to be having and its use and its potential and everything it's been built and designed to do, when we start embarking on some of these major use cases, you're going to wish you had maintained your voice at a time when it didn't seem like it mattered that much. And those days are coming. Mark my words. I don't give a shit what any of these other asset holders have to say. I don't care about what the Solana crew or any other blockchain. I don't care what any of these people have to say. They're only saying it because of their fear. They know what's coming with Cardano. I know what's coming with Cardano. Charles knows. The majority of us know. Those of us that are already D-reps and working on accumulating voting power to make sure we can take a stand against the institutions that are inevitably going to be entering the space. They're going to be entering the Cardano ecosystem, and likely, as much as for profit, their profit is also going to be dependent upon the voice and the power they're able to obtain. And they're only able to obtain the power we give them. And now is the choice that we have to make to start taking action while it matters, because it's just like buying Bitcoin at $4,000 and everyone ignoring it, but then there's a line around the block when it's at $96,000 and everybody's trying to buy in. It's like, we can't wait. Now is the time to take action and start establishing ourselves as a governing body that actually has some power and capability. I'm telling you now, because if you wait too long and you're just waiting for somebody else to do it, it's probably not going to get done, and you're going to be sorry. And when I tell you all this, I tell you this with the understanding that if you're thinking, well, it matters, but it doesn't really matter that much, because if it doesn't work out here, it'll probably work out somewhere else, and I'll just put my money there. There is nowhere else. There is nowhere else. There will not be another else for quite some time. And by that time, the industry will have already infiltrated everything that we know. This is a whole other topic. I'm telling you folks right now, Cardano is going to be a lot bigger than I think a lot of people think. And I do believe that there's a lot happening behind the scenes that you're probably not aware of, and you need to start taking action. And at the very least, as it pertains to competing with these big institutions that are going to be accumulating, at the very least, delegate your voting power to somebody you feel you can rely on. At the very least, if you don't want to be a D-rep, don't just sit there and abstain from voting. Put your ADA to work. Let's get to work. Until next time, guys and gals, thanks for joining me. All the links you need are in the description below. Grow your coins. I'll see you soon. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I am the Crypto Crow, and I Trust Capital is a sponsor of my channel, and I'm actually very, very grateful. They're a company that I've been watching for quite some time now, for several years, grow in the space. And if you're holding cryptocurrency assets for the long term, for retirement, this is definitely something you're going to want to look into. There are a lot of tax benefits associated with I Trust Capital's Roth IRA and other accounts, and you're going to want to need to check those out. You can look at the tax advantages right here in this little link. There's a description below. The question you're probably asking yourself is, well, why would I need that? This new administration coming in is pro-crypto, and they're talking about getting rid of capital gains tax, or at the very least, getting rid of capital gains tax on US-based cryptocurrency projects. But what if you invest in projects that aren't in that list? What if none of those changes happen at all? So we can't really count on that. And I've been looking for alternatives to things like moving to Puerto Rico, which we know that didn't work out well for me, and just doing things that can help me alleviate some of the tax pressure on the assets that I accumulate and the way that I trade and the way that I live my life. I encourage you to check out I Trust Capital. I've had many talks with them. I trust them. I do believe that what they're doing is going to help a lot of people benefit in retirement. There are a lot of tax benefits associated with it, and you really should check it out. At the very least, make sure you're aware of what asset tools are available to benefit you when the time is right. I've got my short-term bags, I've got my long-term bags, and I'm putting my long-term bags with I Trust Capital. Thanks a lot for joining me, and I will see you soon. Grow your coins.